Okay, I was just about to make a video, which I am, and then I heard Hazel wake up from her nap. So we'll see. I'm gonna have to be kind of like concise with my words today. Today's video is a challenge that I've talked about before. No, it's not the candy bar challenge. And I have, I guess, prescribed this challenge to many of my clients, and the ones that do it right, the ones that really commit to it, make a lot of progress with their rewiring. And that challenge is the pulling meals and snacks and basically the foods that you're eating throughout the day out of a jar. So you don't have total control. So you can either write down, and this is when I say doing it right. Doing it right would be writing down really, really challenging meals that you're terrified of eating, that you've yet to conquer, or you've yet to even try. Doing it wrong would be putting all your safe foods down so that it feels like there's an element of surprise in what you're picking, so you don't have all control there, but you still have a grasp on kind of like, okay, but I know these are foods I can eat and I've eaten before. So doing that the right way would be writing down only things that are extremely challenging for you. And if you can't trust yourself to make that decision what those things would be, then ask somebody who gets this, who's kind of like on your side and understands and has been supportive of your recovery and gets what you need to be able to do to recover. Don't ask somebody who's disordered. Ask somebody that's like a normal eater. If you know someone in your life, what a blessing, right? But ask a trusted person, a family member, spouse, friend, something like that, to write these things down. And then also doing it right would be when you pull it out, let's say it says cereal for breakfast. Doing it wrong would be, oh my gosh, cereal. Okay, I picked cereal. Picking your safest, healthiest, right, in quotes, healthiest cereal in a very small bowl just to say you did it. Whew, okay, cereal, I did it. That would not be rewiring a lot. A little bit, maybe, because maybe you weren't planning on having cereal and you did, but it wouldn't be rewiring everything that you possibly could in that experience. So the right way to do that would be, oh my gosh, I pulled cereal and I really feel like Lucky Charms and I'm getting a gigantic bowl out and I'm just gonna crush this box. And you do that. And then, snacks come. Or this is a tricky one because I think you should have pulling from the jar, breakfast, lunch, and dinner as non-negotiable for sure. And then a snack in between each of those meals for sure, that you have a snack jar you're pulling from. But then in addition to that, that's where you have the freedom to be more spontaneous and like, oh, I just want this, or oh, that sounds good. Adding to, of course, those 3 snacks. Because when you're in recovery, it's rare that 3 snacks are gonna cut it, right? Sometimes it's even rare that 3 meals are gonna cut it. So really be honest with yourself there. Also, that would be doing it right, is doing the non-negotiable meals and snacks, but then also adding on top of that, in between all of those things, even more food. Doing it wrong, doing it kind of restrictedly would be, oh, I got my meals, got my snacks done. Okay, I really wanted X, Y, and Z today, but I didn't pull out of the jar, so maybe tomorrow, right? You see the difference. So there is no way that if you do this, you're not going to break down a lot of eating disordered rules. One would be, oh, also another thing to mention, sorry, I'm kind of scattered here, but another thing to mention would be don't pull it out of the jar until right before the meal. Or like, let's say it's dinner and you have to cook it. Don't pull it out first thing in the morning. I highly recommend you don't actually pull it out until after lunch if you can do that. Hold off that long. Like if it's something that you're having to cook, you should be able to make it, hopefully nothing's taking hours and hours to make. And so you're going to pull that out after lunch so that you don't have the ability to be like, okay, I have my whole day planned out. For breakfast, I pulled this, for lunch, that, for dinner, that. Okay, this is okay. I'm going to do this. Just kind of not having that time to like prep or to plan around, or you can't plan around because you're pulling, right? You're pulling things out of a jar. You're not deciding. So the whole element of control is wiped out. The whole element of, for me, this was one that was very helpful. And I did this, by the way, in recovery, was the idea that like I could only have bread, X amount of times, or this amount of bread per day, or I can only have chocolate once a day, or I can only have ice cream once a day. And so when I had the jars and it was like French toast for breakfast and a grilled cheese sandwich for lunch and pizza for dinner, it's like my mind wanted to just explode. It was so incredibly challenging, but because I'd committed to just following through and doing it, some days I kicked and screamed and some days I hated the freaking jars, but it seriously helped me break down so many eating disorder rules. So if you haven't tried that yet, I highly encourage that you do. And if you're hearing this video and there's tons of resistance and you're like, that woman's crazy, I am not doing that. You're especially the person that needs to do this, okay? And maybe you're hearing it and you're like, yeah, I don't need to do that. I'm past that. I can do that. do it anyways then. Just try, and you may find that some anxiety comes up. You may find that maybe this is harder than you thought it was going to be. All right. Have a good day. Bye.